Welcome to another episode of Obscured Reality. Join your hosts, Mark and Stephanie, as they take you through a journey of the extraordinary, bizarre, and often frightening world of the unknown. Explore topics of the paranormal, UFOs, alien abduction, lost civilizations, mythical monsters, and other unexplained mysteries. Come along with us as we transcend into another dimension of obscured reality.
Welcome back to Obscured Reality. Mark and Stevie back with you. Tonight, we are going to be discussing some missing person cases, specifically from Flying J truck stops.
Oh shit. Oh man, I fucking love
Yes.
Flying J. Damn.
Well, I've mentioned in the past a guy named David Paulides. He's all over YouTube. He's been doing a lot of interviews. He's an ex-cop, all this stuff, investigator. So now he investigates missing persons after finding there's apparently issues with missing people in national park systems and things being hidden in their weird circumstances. And I saw something real quick with him the other day, and he mentioned a particular case, which is the first, I believe the first one we're going to go over here. And he made a comment at some point in the video. He wasn't specific, but basically what he alluded to was that missing people is a thing with Flying J truck stops, as if it was really weird, things like that going on. Now, I want to start off with this. When it comes to the National Park System and his investigations, he doesn't investigate every missing person case. He has specific guidelines for the cases he looks at, and he picks only the ones that meet that criteria, and they're really odd. You know, you're talking person, search crews searching for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever. They don't find them, and then one day the person mysteriously winds up dead right where they searched like 3 times. But there's other criteria, obviously. So when he mentioned this, the way he said it alluded as if this is the thing with Flying J. And after reading this story and looking into it a bit more, we'll get there. we'll get there. We'll go over a few of them, but we'll start with this one. So this is a guy who came from Waterbury, Connecticut. So the article I pulled this from was from CT Insider. Waterbury, Connecticut man vanishes from Pennsylvania truck stop. The article is from March 21st, 2005. Okay, from the CT Insider. So the guy's name, Bert Delaney Williams III. He was 27, a father of 2 from Waterbury, Connecticut. He's been, now keep in mind the way this article reads, is as if you're reading this in March of 2005, right? This is written March 21st, 05. So it's reading, when we say, oh, he went missing 2 days ago, we're talking 2 days prior to March 21st, right? 2005. So he's been missing since last Wednesday, when police were alerted to his rig truck parked at the Flying J Travel Plaza in Middlesex Township, authorities said. So obviously Flying J, a truck stop. This guy was a rig driver. Williams was driving the rig, which was carrying a partial load of frozen food for MTS, a trucking company in Wilson, Wisconsin. He was on his way from New Jersey to Ohio to pick up more cargo. All right, New Jersey to Ohio is where he's going. Here's a quote from Paula Mullen. We found all his personal effects except for his driver's license. Middlesex Township police officer Paula Mullen said, at this point, that is where the trail ends. Mullen said police are treating the case as a missing persons investigation. Well, right, because you found his truck and all his belongings, and he's been reported missing. Okay. Several of Williams' relatives arrived in Pennsylvania Saturday and viewed surveillance tapes from the truck stop where they spotted a man they believed to be Williams by himself on a tape from Monday. He would not have just left without saying anything to anybody, said Sean Williams, the missing man's brother. He would have at least told our father. They talked every day. Williams was driving the rig, which was carrying a partial load. We already went through that. Didn't realize that was in there twice, guys. Frozen food, okay? Frozen food. When he failed, hey, let me just have another sip. That's what we get sometimes. So when he failed to arrive in Ohio, MTS officials checked the cash advances they issued on his toll card. The last advance was taken Monday evening at the truck stop, where MTS officials tracked down the rig and contacted police. Family members told investigators that Williams had no medical conditions or personal problems that might explain his disappearance. Mullen said Williams called his father either late Monday or early Tuesday and said he was in Carlisle. His truck was legally parked and showed no evidence of foul play. Police said that Williams' mother received an anonymous call at her Connecticut home and that the caller claimed her son was dead. Police are trying to determine if the call was a prank. I haven't found anything else on that. However, given that I didn't find anything on that, even though I looked through quite a bit of things here, obviously I would say that was probably a prank because it would have been, highlighted in numerous articles had that not been a prank.
Yeah.
So now this is from the Sun Journal. From the Sun Journal. Following nationally televised news reports about the search, a Florida television station called the family to say they had been contacted by a Miami hospital about an amnesia patient who showed up Friday. Mullen said the family told police that the man in Miami has the same eye color as Williams and the same tattoo on his left arm of a cross of bones intertwined with snakes. The family was told the patient was sunburned and said his legs hurt from walking, police said. Authorities have no idea how Williams, if it is the same person, could have gotten from Pennsylvania to the Miami hospital. So this guy disappeared in PA and he wound up in Miami. Now, I looked quite a bit. I couldn't find anything else on this guy to see, to verify that was him
Right.
that was found in Florida. However, when I heard this with David Paulides recently, the way he said it, that was him. This was the guy. He was found in Miami, the hospital. This is the story. So apparently he has some information. It would appear that, I couldn't find anything. I looked a lot and couldn't find. But so yeah, Pennsylvania. Now, when you think of missing person from a truck stop, what do you think, Stevie? Just first things that come to mind in anything, don't think outside the box.
Well, honestly,
Or in the
either.
box.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's things that are placed in a box. Like, I'm sure people are snatched and sold, like, into human slavery of some sort. I mean, easy place to snatch a, unsuspecting person, or just snatch people to body parts, steal body. I don't know. I truly think that there is still like a world of very nefarious people just under what we normally see, and they prey on people like that.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. Invasion of the body snatchers, absolutely. But I think they're human.
Yeah. When I hear missing person from a truck stop, without knowing details, first thing I typically think of is female, raped, killed, dumped. And now, obviously, we just showed how subjective this all is, right? It's open to your interpretation. Without the story, without the background, you're going to think whatever it is you think.
Mhm.
In this case, so to me, saying what I just said, to me, I look at this and go, well, that's weird. This guy is a trucker. He was at a truck stop. He's doing his normal thing along with all the others, whether some of them are inhospitable or not, doesn't matter. He's doing his normal thing. He's used to it. He's used to doing it.
Mhm.
This guy just disappeared. He just gone. What did he, it makes you wonder, like, did he hop in someone else's truck that was going to Florida or going that direction? How did he just wind up in Florida?
I mean,
Um,
if he's sunburnt, confused, and his legs are tired from walking, it sounds like somebody got drugged. Like, I
well,
don't know.
I mean, it says amnesia because the guy doesn't remember anything. So it sounds like he probably got dropped off somewhere in Florida and walked forever,
Yeah.
But it's just weird. It's just odd to me. But let's move on. Here's the next story here. We got the article read, woman missing after bizarre encounter at truck stop. Where is Keeslyn Roberts? Now, some of you
Keithlyn?
might have heard this case. Keeslyn.
Keesland.
Keeslyn. Some of you all may have heard this. I never have, but there's a lot of articles on this. I did a little extra digging. I wanted to see because there were some comments that were made. I'm like, well, those comments are made, but nothing's elaborated. Let's look a little further. So let's look at Keeslyn Roberts. The last time anyone saw Keeslyn Roberts, she wasn't acting like her normal, cheerful self. When the 20-year-old stopped by the Flying J truck stop in Resaca, Georgia on the evening of Saturday, January 18th, 2020, so this is recent, she walked into the kitchen area, which was for employees only. When one of the workers confronted her and told her she wasn't allowed back there, Keeslyn seemed to panic. She dropped the backpack she was carrying and ran out of the back door of the truck stop. She was never seen again. Okay. Employees at the Flying J called the Gordon County Sheriff's Office to report the odd interaction. When deputies arrived, they looked inside the backpack and found Keeslyn's wallet, which contained her driver's license, some cash, and her debit card. Employees confirmed that the picture on the driver's license matched the young woman who fled the store, but they were unable to provide any information about where she had headed after she exited through the back door. Deputies assumed that Keeslyn would return shortly for her backpack.
No.
In addition to her wallet, it also contained her phone charger and a set of car keys. When they ran her name through their computer, however, they realized she had an active warrant out for her arrest. This was likely why she fled the scene before police arrived. I mean, that's interesting, kind of. She wanders into the kitchen. An employee says, "You're not allowed to be here." Like, what? Unless they said, "We're calling the police," why would she even think they're going to call the police? And they don't know this. This is just their assumption. But the way I look at that is, well, she was just in the kitchen. They told her, "Get your ass out."
Mhm.
And that's that,
Yeah.
so get out. But I wouldn't completely say, at least for myself, that I would think she'd be,
Well,
if
she
she's
also
trying to
wasn't
avoid
normal
cops.
or wasn't her normally bubbly self either, so
Yeah. And if she's trying to avoid cops, then, well, why would she be wandering into an area of this restaurant that she shouldn't be going?
I feel like there's a little bit
Right?
more going
Employees
on
only.
to
You're a smart one.
imagine
There
that.
is. There is. So I saw a post on Reddit, and this was from Reddit user Tall Swedish Redhead. This person, I don't know if it's a male or female, said, "To be honest with you, most information about the night she went missing that I see is half truths, and no one speaks about the days leading up to her disappearance or her boyfriend or several other details." So it sounds like this person has some idea of the story, may live in the area, and has talked to people
Right.
and may have heard that there's a little bit more going on.
Hmm.
So this person continues, at that Flying J, there are no cameras around back. It's poorly lit. She had dropped someone off there who was working a shift at Denny's. So there's a Denny's at this Flying J. And from what I saw, it seems like that may be a common theme with Flying J's, having a Denny's attached.
I haven't seen any personally.
Yeah, I have.
I mean,
It
restaurants,
probably
yes,
depends on the
but
area.
not so much. I mean, restaurants, yes, but not
yeah.
so much at Denny's.
Yeah, I'm sure it depends on the area. She dropped someone off there who was working a shift at that Denny's. I can't remember the name. Her dad told me. So this person, tall Swedish redhead on Reddit, has talked to this girl's dad. She also hadn't been home, in parentheses, her boyfriend's, meaning I take it as she lived with her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She hadn't been home at her boyfriend's in 3 days or heard from in 3 days. But he didn't care to let anyone know until after all of this happened. Her dad said that her boyfriend was/is a dealer, and so is his mom. Okay. So now we're seeing drugs involved. Now, as far as Kieslyn is concerned, we're not going to really go into too much more on her personally, but a lot of stuff I was finding was saying that she was a good kid, blah, 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 blah. And at some point this is, I believe, from her parents. Her dad was saying she started hanging out with the wrong people. She started getting into drugs, mainly marijuana, things like that. And now we start coming up with arrest warrant for things, blah, 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 blah. So now things starting to add up a little bit. Now we may have an explanation for this weird, possibly erratic behavior, right?
Drugs.
So
not marijuana.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you never know what she was given either. Right.
Drugs.
And who knows what she was even on, if she was on anything that night, which, I would think she is. Let's take a look at a picture of Kieslyn here. So this is a picture of Kieslyn with her parents, her mom and dad. Red Solo cup. Yeah. Looks like a normal kid.
Yeah.
However, here's the next picture of Kieslyn. Obviously, to me, looks like a mugshot.
Yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah. Yep. So that's her. Was her. And she has not been found. She is still missing to this day.
That's sad.
So, yeah, moving on from Kieslyn, but not moving on from Kieslyn, a second person went missing from the same Flying J truck stop just 2 days before Kieslyn vanished.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. This person's name, Caleb Smith. He was 21. He vanished after being seen at the same truck stop just days before Roberts was last seen. Smith disappeared on January 16, 2020, and his body was found in a marsh weeks later. So, yeah.
Well, hate to be the negative Nancy here, but pretty sure that it's probably the same person. I mean,
possibly. Here's a picture of Caleb here.
Yep. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, there's nefarious people, and if they were like, why not get people from a truck stop? Why not?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, especially people who, yeah, but you don't usually hear of truck drivers. You don't usually hear this happening to truck drivers, which was the first story.
True.
That was odd. Now, probably less odd if it was at this particular Flying J, the same one as these two people. then it'd be like, okay, there's a mass murder or something going on, right? Or not a mass murder, a serial killer. A mass murderer. What the heck? So, yep, that's pretty much all we got on Caleb. I couldn't find anything else about him. Obviously, they found his body, so probably not much more to tell. So now we have an article that came from ABC. I think it was ABC 6 out of Tennessee. Knoxville, Tennessee. A 73-year-old man who was last seen in Knox County has been found, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. TBI posted an update on Twitter that Thomas Owen Houston was found in Lynchburg, Virginia. He was last seen in Knox County, Tennessee. He was found in Lynchburg, Virginia. Houston was last seen Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. Very recent. At, you guessed it, the Flying J truck stop on Watt Road in Knoxville, Tennessee. The TBI said that Houston has a medical condition that may impair his ability to return home safely without assistance. Of course, there's no elaboration on what that medical condition may be that would not allow him, but here's a picture of the guy.
Watch, he has Alzheimer's and doesn't remember.
Who knows? But
that's sad.
This is a picture of him.
Okay.
An old guy, and so I don't know. It's just weird. It's like who knows what was he doing at the truck stop? He's 73.
I mean, we have a Flying J here in town, that people stop and get gas at all the time.
Yeah, I guess
they're not always in the middle of
I guess that's
fucking nowhere.
Yeah, and that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Around here, there's none.
Yeah.
They're all out in BFE where the truckers are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's so built up, it's so populated.
Yeah,
so,
but no, it's kind of common. Loves and Flying J are very, very common around here. Just outside of cities or in between. Not. We have one actually in South Bend, but there's also a Love / Flying J not too far out of a town south of us that has a pretty strong military presence in it. So I don't know. I'm just used to them pretty commonly throughout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense in towns like this, possibly. I mean, I'd have to look up Knoxville, but yeah, I don't think that way just because that's not the way it is here. They're all out in BFE. I'll tell you, I've stopped at some. I don't know if it's Flying J. I don't think it was, but take a shower before a really, really fucking long drive. But yeah, I mean, any of those types of places, you always kind of look over my shoulder. You never know. I'm not worried about the truckers.
It's okay. So I have an experience at a Flying J, actually. I was.
You're not missing.
I almost was, though. If I didn't decide to get the fuck out of there, I probably would have been.
Yeah.
I was driving cross country with Nanook, and it was my last night. Okay. And I had pulled over in a Flying J, and I had a blow up bed in the back, and I had these things that would cover my windows that you couldn't see in, but I could see out. It was pretty cool little setup. And so I'm all set up. I had just moved from my front seat to my back seat because I couldn't climb over, so I had to open one door, get out, and get into my back door. And as I had the window down, I hadn't yet rolled it up, and this guy had parked next to me, and he rolls his window down. He's like, "Hey, you're really pretty," and I was like, "Thanks." I can't tell you how fast I launched over into my front seat and got the fuck out of there. Because this dude didn't speak any English. And the fact that he managed to get, "Hey, you're pretty," out, I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
I went to the next Flying J that was about 20 miles down the road. I was so fucking tired.
So did he.
No, I made sure of it. I drove down the highway with no lights on for probably a solid half mile before I turned my lights on.
Yeah.
Yep. Just to make sure there was no one behind me. It scared me that fucking bad.
I didn't mean following you. I just meant he probably went scoping that one out too at some point.
Hopefully he stayed at the one that he was
maybe came from there.
Yeah, thank God for my dog, because she was all like, grr. I mean, she might be small, but a dog tends to keep fucking weirdos away. But yeah, I've had experiences there. For the most part, I always try to find the most well-lit place, and I will nestle myself in between two RVs. just so I look like I'm with the RV people. And if anything happens, I have people literally right fucking there with paper thin walls. So I try
Yeah.
really hard to stick to a very strict set of rules when I'm staying there. But yeah, there's a
Well,
few of
the
them
backs,
that
the trailers of the rigs might have paper thin walls.
no,
but I
no,
don't know about
no.
the rigs
Like
themselves.
people will actually park like their campers there overnight.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so yeah,
Hmm.
I'll just like because they always tend to park off to the side in the parking lot where it's
Yeah.
still well lit, but it's still off to the side. So I'll like get up in like that group and act like I'm part of their group. Like, hey,
Right.
just gonna nestle on right in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, a truck stop's a very good, easy place
Mm.
to prey on people. This wouldn't be the first time anyone's heard of it happening,
No.
but it does happen anywhere. You were,
Mhm.
well, it was a Flying J, right?
Yeah, actually it was.
Um,
Because I
yeah,
have a
but I
loyalty to
mean,
Flying J because I have their app.
when I know when I was a kid, I had it happen to me in front of my house. It would have been the end for me, and that was in a good, well-to-do city, nice people, blah de blah de blah, all that stuff. So it really can happen anywhere. Um, and I just saw a news article actually tonight of a girl in Walmart. Of course, this is in Florida. Literally with her parent or parents. I think it was with one parent because it was the mom. Because if the dad was there, he probably would have kicked someone's ass. They have surveillance video of it. It's just happened recently. A dude walked up and the kid was there next to the cart, and the mom was on the aisle doing something. And this guy walked up, grabbed the kid, said something like "Let's go" or something, and grabbed him and started taking him. Mom came over and stopped him, and guy wound up getting arrested. But obviously, it can happen anywhere. So. It was just interesting. I heard David Paulides mention this, and he, like I said, the way he said it, he was alluding that this might be a common theme and a weird common theme with Flying J truck stops. I searched the hell out of this stuff for Flying J's, and every article that came up, like the majority, was all this Kiesland girl. The majority of them were her.
Mm.
And I couldn't find anything else about missing people from Flying J's. I mean, I did read something about Flying J, though, that's interesting. They allegedly, they told the employees over there at that particular one where Kiesland was last seen, you guys aren't going to talk about this to anybody because you're going to get fired if you do.
Gag orders, yeah.
Because they don't want the bad press. And it's like, well, everyone knows this is a thing to watch out for at truck stops. Yeah, it'll probably never happen to you. Yeah, you're probably never going to witness it happening. But we all know, be careful at truck stops.
Yeah.
Be careful at rest stops that are out in the boonies. You never know.
You really never know.
I mean, that's the first thing I'm doing when I pull into one of these rest stops. Not like a truck stop, Flying J, but truck stop where it's just some brick and mortar bathrooms and that's all that's there out in the middle of nowhere. First thing I'm doing when I'm driving in, before I even park, I'm scoping the whole place out.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's anything questionable, I'll leave. I'll piss my pants before I'm going to stay.
I'll fucking pull on the side of the road, open up 2-car doors so you can't see me and just squat.
Yep.
I have no issue with that, especially if it means that I stay safe.
Yep. Always keep a roll of toilet paper in your car.
I always have napkins in my little armrest because shit spills in my car from time to time. Like I spilled coffee the other day and I was like, fuck. And I went to go get some coffee.
Not real shit, just coffee.
Yeah. Drinks. So I went to go open my armrest and I realized I didn't have any more napkins and I was like, double shit. Fuck. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our missing people from Flying J's. It's interesting. Once I read a little more into this story about Kiesland, then I heard from David Paulides. The first thing that comes to me is, well, this isn't as weird as it kind of was made out to be. But then again, maybe there's more that he has that he's not mentioning. He investigates this stuff, so who knows? But the first one I do find kind of odd. This guy, truck driver, and winds up in Florida, and how do you just wind up with amnesia without hitting your head?
Drugs.
Right.
Hey, does it
But,
smell like chloroform to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, there is shit, man. There's so many things
Yeah.
that it could have been. It could have been mistaken identity.
But
It could have been like I don't know. There's so many different things that
Yeah.
we don't know about that it could be. Like,
But you'd think if the guy was drugged by someone, there'd be some other things going on, like rape.
no, not
There was
necessarily.
no mention of complaints of no, but why else? I mean, right? Like
Mistaken
nothing was
identity.
stolen. Yeah, but do you really kidnap someone and then later realize, oh shit, that was the wrong person, and just let them go?
I don't know if they're drugged up enough, maybe. I don't know, because the Mexican cartel have accidentally kidnapped the wrong people multiple fucking times. So
Yeah, well, they just don't care.
no,
Period.
I'm just saying,
kill you for looking at
mistakes
'em
can
wrong.
happen, mistaken identities happen. There could be
Yeah.
a whole slew of possibilities that we just aren't thinking of because we're not aware of
Oh, of course.
it. So I mean,
Yeah.
weird, yes, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not seeing anything insane here. Like I said, after I heard this from David Paulides, I started looking into some of these, especially Kiesland and all that.
mhm.
I'm like, well, there's not, he didn't mention Kiesland. He mentioned the first one that we talked about, but some of the articles I was saying about Kiesland was saying, Connecticut girl mysteriously blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah.
And
Clickbait.
they make it seem really weird. And it's like, well,
She was
now we know
snatched and
there's a
she was
history of
probably
drugs.
murked. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know there's a history of drugs. We know she was also with someone.
There was
We know
another
she's
missing
been
person 2
gone
days
from.
ago from the same location of a
Yeah,
person
we know
approximately the
she's
same
been gone
age.
from. She's been gone from the home she was staying at for 3 days.
Mhm.
We know that the people she was staying with, her boyfriend and his mom, are drug dealers. I mean, all she could have done is just pissed off the wrong person, being her dealer. I mean, I'm just saying, you never know. So
Yeah, that
didn't
or
find
she
them
could
too
be
odd.
so
I found them.
she
There's
could be
probably
high
good
on
reasons.
drugs, drop someone off for work, and
Yeah.
fucking in a drug up stupor, found herself in the kitchen, freaked out, and then ran into the distance only to run into the arms of Caleb's killer, who's like, "Ah, fuck, another one."
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, she could have pissed off the wrong person.
She could become a
having
lot
to do with
lizard. You
drugs.
never know.
Yeah,
She could be living it up
could have
as a
pissed off
lot
the wrong
lizard.
person having to do with the drug issue,
Mm-hmm.
and wound up dropping her friend off at the Flying J and seen someone that she knew big issues. That person might be following me or knowing I'm dropping my friend off here, and now I'm screwed.
Yeah,
And
there's
but then why you wouldn't be screaming for help? So there's a million possibilities. Who the hell knows? But yeah, it's odd a little bit. But when you start digging in a little bit, it's there's very good possible reasons.
Yeah.
I can't say good reasons, but plausible reasons.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's our missing persons for the night. At some point in the future, we will do something on David Paulides and his. By the way, he's got Missing 411. He's got the series or books, shows out about missing people. I'd recommend looking him up. I think you can find him Missing 411 stuff on YouTube. I think the different episodes he's done, they're very interesting. Some of them are just a lot of them are the national park things, and they are really weird shit. We're talking about bodies being found with no evidence of foul play, no evidence of anything happening to them from animals. Weird stuff.
Oh,
It's interesting.
man.
You should look it up.
I know there's a very small sliver of Yellowstone National Park that is literally lawless. And I will
Yeah.
happily go over that with you one day, because that's an interesting ass story that has something to do with a lot of national park missing people. Because when I say
Yeah,
lawless,
well-
like, it is the one place that you can get away with murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, anywhere there's no cameras and people,
No,
you
there's-
kind of can.
It's I'm not going to get too far into it, but it's because of how it's not. It's because of how, like, the jurisdiction of it and how it's not actually
Right.
patrolled makes it such. But I'll get over. I'll touch on that when we do that episode. But it's a good one, so I got one for you
Look
too.
some of that stuff up, get that together, and you do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, remind me. We'll do
Come
it. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, that's it. Look up David Paulides, Missing 411. You'll definitely be entertained. And kind of, it's interesting. That's our show on a few missing people tonight from Flying J Truck Stops.
You stink like shit.
My
though.
take. No big oddities here.
Mhm.
But what you're going to do is like, share, and subscribe.
Mhm.
Please. That'd be great. Comment if you have some comments. But what I'd really like is you have obscure story of your own, shoot us an email at obscuredr1@gmail.com. Type story in the subject line so we know that's what it's for. And tell us your story in the body. If you have an obscure story, possible abduction, Bigfoot, aliens, UFOs. So
Did
many
you
more
almost
people
get
now
snatched
have
at
been
a flying
seeing stuff.
J like me?
Yeah. Yep. Shoot us the email, story in the subject line. Tell us the story. We'll share it for you. We'll do it anonymously if you'd like. If you want to be on the show, simple to do. As long as you have a computer and Chrome, there you go. Simple to do. You can come on and tell us your own story on the show, and we can have a chat, and that'd be a lot more fun. You can also do that anonymously as well. It's very easy. So hit us up,
Mhm.
and don't forget the bell.
Nope.
Hit that bell.
Do not forget
Does
that
stuff.
bell so that you can get notified of every new episode that drops at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern every Friday. And sometimes we drop little gems for you throughout the week. So definitely be notified about all those. Every little bit helps us.
Yep. And with that, peace.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check back with us often for new episodes. Feel free to drop a comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obscured Reality.